Hey everybody, it's Sophie and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. It's just Marco here once again, and I am here today to do something that wow, it worked out perfectly because we have now done Sophie and I, well, not both of us at the same time, but collectively we've done 20 fan request movies. And I did think maybe there's 22, but two of them came from someone who didn't know that I had a channel, and when she recommended them, it wasn't about like, oh, I want to hear your review. It was just like a recommendation. So I can't really include those. And after doing Rhinoceros, I really thought, it would be fun to rank the fan requests, just for fun. It's not like I'm saying like movies are bad or anything. Like, it's just ones are better than others, especially in terms of these. You have some very interesting, polarizing types of films where that they have a lot of dark elements, and some of them are pretty bad, but they have a lot of enjoyment anyways. And there's a wide spectrum of movies here. But I will say that I really love all fan requests. Like, fan requests are some of my favorite videos to do, because as I used to say back when our videos would only get a couple of views, I would be at least a fan request is a it's a view that you'll know that you'll get. You're not uploading a video and then it's oh, that video didn't get any views. That if you do a fan request, at the very least the fan who requested the video will probably watch it, even if they don't like it. To me, it's better than the normal videos that we do where it's a crapshoot. And it was funny too, because going back to look for fan requests, there were so many movie reviews that I was how the hell does this not have any views? There was this one video, and it was an Avengers review of just the Avengers. It only had 3 views, and that's now. That's now too. That's 2023. We have a video on our channel with only 3 views. And it just blows my mind, the fact that, how far we've come. Even, it doesn't really seem very far, but it really is pretty far. It just feels like YouTube, they're never going to change. They're never going to get any better. So no matter how much we grow, it's never going to really make a difference against what YouTube is doing. Because YouTube purposefully, they suppress channels like ours. And so you have to fight against that with every video. So fan requests are also great because of engagement. So if you ever do a YouTube channel, I would say to prioritize fan requests. There have been a couple of fan requests that I haven't even done yet because, honestly, I forgot, and I can't find the comments anymore, and so I can't really do them at the moment until I figure those out. So we have 20 here, so that would be top 10 best and worst. And I think I'm just going to go from 20 to number 1, which, again, none of these are, well, I think the last one is pretty awful, but it's good that I watched it because I did kind of want to watch it until I saw the trailer. And that was Nope. Number 20 is Nope, Jordan Overrated Peele's third movie. As I said before, this movie is the result of people overrating him so much that the flaws in his first movie, what happened? They got worse in the second movie. And then they got even worse in the third movie. And it feels like a lot of directors, their second or third movie will either be really good or really bad. Like, for some reason, the second or third movie is pretty cursed for a director because I think of the expectations. But in this case, it was like he wanted to make, as he said, he wanted to make a classic American alien movie. But the problem is that nothing happens in this movie. It's a terrible waste of time. It's like 3 fucking hours long. It's boring. There's not really any story except for, I guess there's like a UFO and it's like sucking people up and they want to get a picture of it, and it's just really, really, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate it more than the universe hates. The universe doesn't hate anything. Well, if you guys get what I mean. I hated this movie. Definitely the worst one out of these 20 movies. But still, I am glad that I watched it because a lot of people didn't even mention this movie as being one of the worst movies of 2022. And so I'm glad that I got to state that it was. Number 19 is Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This was a very early on fan request. And this was another one where, even I wanted the movie to be really good. I was really looking forward to seeing if they improved. Because with the first Godzilla, that is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. With that Bryan Cranston, where you don't even see Godzilla the whole movie. It's boring as hell. It's just all these stupid people that nobody cares about. But Godzilla, King of the Monsters is somehow worse. I mean, they were like, oh, you want to see the dinosaurs fight? You want to see the kaiju fight? Well, you'll see them in the background, in the blurry background, while the humans are talking in the foreground. And there's going to be this stupid story about a MacGuffin where it makes kaijus angry or something, and it makes them all fight each other. And they have this whole redemption arc for an ecological terrorist woman. They try to make you feel sorry for her. And they have that overrated Millie Bobby Brown from Stranger Things. And they have her in the movie for some reason. It's terrible. It's just all these stupid people who I don't care about. I wish that Godzilla would have killed them all in the movie. Because I just hate them. I don't care about these fucking characters. And I'm sick and tired of people saying, you can't have a Godzilla movie without human characters. That you just can't do it. It's like, fuck off. It's like, yes, you can. If you give me a 3-hour movie with just King Kong on Monster Island interacting with other monsters, I would say that would be the best movie of whatever year that came out. Because that's what I want to see. When I go to a Godzilla movie, I don't want to see the fucking humans. Number 18 is The House is October Built, Part 2. And I watched both of these movies. The fan, he said that I don't think he said that I had to watch both of them. He just wanted me to watch one of them. And the second one, it really, really lets you down after the first one. Because the first one, for better or for worse, it was original, it was interesting, and I really enjoyed parts of it, and I will watch it again. The second one was a huge disaster mess of a movie. Most of the movie is just, it feels like a YouTube vlog where they're doing random things. Like there's this whole thing where they do like a zombie laser tag, and it feels like they're trying to do this technique where you have all this normal everyday stuff happen, and then at the end there's all this horror that all of a sudden happens, and it's really, really ineffective. And a lot of the movie, it feels like too, that they've gotten popular in real life, and so it's kind of transferred into the film to where they even have this like weird segment where they're doing like a gross food eating contest or something, and it's like, this is not what I wanted to see. And then at the very end, they have this stupid twist where it was all like a setup, and then it wasn't, or something. I don't know. Just, this movie was terrible. I would never watch it again. I really wish that they could make a third one and make that better than the first two, because I think it's a great idea. I really love haunted houses, and it's basically all about what if there was a really evil haunted house, and you really don't know if you're going to live or die, and they do these terrible things, and they kidnap you, and they follow you, and it's like, that would be pretty scary. But the second one is just totally unbelievable. It's basically like a 2-hour YouTube video. Number 17 is Ragtag. This was a fan request by Buffalo Billy, because he doesn't really, he watches some of my YouTube videos, but mostly he likes it where I just tell him what I think privately, because I don't know, he watches like thousands of movies on Tubi, and it just feels like he wants someone else to talk about them with. And so Ragtag, this is basically the South African Ben and Arthur. It's the exact same type of story where you have these two gay guys. They really want to be together, but one of them, he's married and closeted, and there's all this crap, and there's this like stupid story where they become thieves and they try to rob a house or something, and there's this part where they go on vacation and they have like a lightsaber battle with sticks, and I'm not kidding here. There's this part at the beginning where they're kids, and one of them has a cactus, and it's like a metaphor for something else that I don't want to say. Really, really bad movie, but at least they tried. At least these guys tried. I wouldn't say, I would have put it higher, it's just that the quality was so poor that I can't put it any higher. Number 16 is Us, the second movie by overrated Jordan Peele. The only saving grace about this movie is the opening scene was very, very good, where they're at this carnival and the little girl gets lost. That could have been a great movie all of in itself. But from then on, wow. Really bad. Really like a Marvel movie almost. The best part of the movie is the performance from the main woman, the mother. She does a great job. She really did give like an award-worthy performance. I wish that she would have gotten an award for that year. But everything else about the movie is complete garbage. Number 15 is Urbania. This is another movie recommendation by Buffalo Billy. And, wow. This is, It's this lifeless, soulless movie about this guy, and the whole night he's just going around the city looking for this other guy. And you think, is he just some creep and he's really interested in that guy, and so he's kind of stalking him? Is it going to be like some Hitchcockian thing? No. At the end of the movie, he finds the guy, they hang out for the night, and we figure out that the guy that he was looking for murdered and raped his husband. And so the whole movie he was actually looking for this guy to get his revenge. And so then he does get his revenge, and that's it. And This movie, it's so badly made. This is another movie that was adapted from a play, which Rhinoceros, the movie we did yesterday, it was also adapted from a play. And, like, see, this is what I mean. Like, the pacing in this movie is so piss poor because they go to these settings, they stay there for 1,000 years. It does not feel like a movie at all. And but I would watch it again. It was very entertaining in a good, bad way. I mean, especially when it got to the last 30 minutes and he's finally interacting with this other guy who's really evil. I mean, he's pretty fucking evil. He definitely deserved what he got. Number 14 is The House is October Built, Part 1. As I said, this is about a group of friends. They like to go to every haunted house ever. And it's a YouTube channel, I think. I can't remember that. But they really like doing it. They're haunted house fanatics. And there's one haunted house, and it's so scary, it's so evil that, like, you don't find it, they find you. And so the whole movie is about them trying to get into this haunted house. And then at the end of the movie, of course, they go there, and it's so scary that they almost die. It's a horrifying experience. You know, it's a fantastic concept. I mean, really, really good concept. Like, I love it. I love the idea. There are some scenes in the movie that are good. There's this one creepy scene where they pick up this little girl in a cornfield. And then there are a couple other things, but overall, it just feels very weak compared to what it could have been. It really wasn't scary at all, except for that one scene. But I would watch it again. Number 13 is Summer of 42. Ugh. This is a forbidden love movie where the forbidden love happens at the end of the movie. A forbidden love movie, you know, the people should really get together at some point in the movie, like before the last 10 minutes, you know. And in this movie, they do not. The whole movie, you're just waiting and waiting and waiting for something to happen between these two characters. And it doesn't happen until the very end. And it's this dark, moody, bizarre sequence where they have sex and there's no dialogue or anything. It's just this music and there's a storm. And then they do the ultimate Debbie Downer. And she leaves town. And she leaves a note at her front door. And this young guy, he reads the note and it's like, bye-bye. And it's like, God, what a depressing, awful ending. Like, I wanted there to be some sort of a story here and not just they have sex and then she leaves town. And it's like, that was so depressing. It was so awful. Ugh. But the first half was really, really good. I mean, the first half of the movie, I thought, you know, this is a classic coming-of-age movie. It's the second half where it really is a letdown. Number 12 is Queen of Hearts. This did, in all fairness, I am glad that I watched this movie. I'm glad I watched all these movies, but this movie particularly, it gave our channel the most views we've ever gotten in a video. Now, 25,000, almost 26,000 views. Wow, that's just amazing. It's just so incredible. And this movie's, it's everything you've already seen before, though. It's another forbidden love movie. And the concept is pretty interesting, especially since this came out in 2019 after the stupid Me Too movement started, because this is really kind of a anti-Me Too movie. It's all about this woman, and she counsels supposed rape victims, and I say supposed because, she probably counsels a lot of, little Amber Heard narcissist types, and over the course of the movie, she meets this teenager who's like her nephew, and she falls for him, and then the sex scene in the movie is probably one of the better ones that I've ever seen because it was real, and they really did a good job with that. I mean, that was clearly the highlight of the movie, and it's like, okay, like, see, in a forbidden love movie, you want some sort of forbidden love to happen because that creates the whole drama of the movie. You can't have any drama or any sort of story happen unless the two people eventually get together. And it takes like an hour for them to get together. And unfortunately, after that, it becomes this really depressing, been there, done that drama where a lot of uninteresting things happen. And of course, at the end, the teenager, he kills himself, and this main woman, she's just so fucking evil. I mean, she did give an incredible performance. I mean, probably one of the scariest female villain performances I've seen, because she was so ice cold. She was so evil. But I don't know, I don't know. Number 11 is Get Out. The Jordan overrated Peele's first movie. The only reason why this isn't lower is because it is a Stepford Wives ripoff. And you know what? The Stepford Wives is really, really good. So, it's not the worst movie, though, in all seriousness. Like, it's okay. If I had never seen the Stepford Wives, I probably would have said that this was a pretty good movie, even despite some of the stuff in it that he has in it. But it's still pretty bad. It's in the middle. It's really tough. It was close to actually making the top 10 though, in terms of this list. So those are the 10 bad movies, and I say bad in quotes just because there's 10 and 10, so 10 happen to be in the bad category. Number 10 of the best movies, My Soul to Take. This was a crazy, insane, batshit movie about some teenagers, and one of them might be a killer, and he might be possessed by the killer of the past. And it's an insanely over-the-top, just who knows what it wanted to do movie. It is ripe to be remade. In fact, I'll say this. This is another movie where if I had the money, I would purchase the rights and remake it immediately, or make a sequel. Because there were some really good elements in this movie. I really actually enjoyed it. I thought I could see through the bad to see the good. Because when I thought about what would I do with Nightmare on Elm Street, this movie is what I would have done. And so I thought it was hilarious that all the stuff that I had thought of was actually done in this movie. And it was pretty eerie, too, because we all know why that was. Number 9 is Rhinoceros. Our review made it sound like it was pretty bad, but it was actually, it was good. I mean, I was just really happy to see Gene Wilder and Zero Mostel together in another movie. They are a perfect comedic pair. And the concept of the movie is really, really good, about everyone turning into rhinoceroses. The best part of the movie, of course, is when Zero Mostel actually turns into one. And he just goes crazy. He locks the door. He eats the key to his door. He drinks water out of the watering pot for flowers. He eats his plants. He tears out his hair. It's an insane like 30-minute sequence, and it is actually really funny. And there are a lot of really funny things in the movie. It's just the story wasn't all there, and it could have been a lot better. You never really see any rhinoceroses in the whole movie, and I really feel like, as I've said in the review, they could have at least made some paper mache masks. They could have at least made some sort of an effort with makeup to do something. Like, there's a part where a guy says, "Your skin is turning gray," and it's not gray at all. And it's like, why are you doing that? Like, it just, you don't have anything gray. Like, you can't even, like, take a fucking marker, a gray marker, and draw on his face or something. Like, just what? Come on. Number 8 is She-Devil. This is another recommendation from Buffalo Billy. It's a really good bad movie. It feels kind of like a TV pilot for a series that would only last one season. It's all about these two guys who want to do this experiment where they can heal diseases with animal or something. I don't know. And it turns this woman. This woman has tuberculosis. She's gonna die, and they cure her with this experiment without her consent, and she becomes a she-devil. And by she-devil, she gets blonde hair instead of dark hair, and she can change the color of her hair, and it's a really, really entertaining movie. I would love to watch it again. I would love to own it on Blu-ray. I thought that the main actress did a really good job. It's really sad to see that she suffered a bad ending, because she was pretty good. I mean, she did a really good job in this role, and she was in other great movies. Like, she was in Abbott and Costello Go to Mars. She was in some pretty damn good movies, and they have such good posters too. I mean, I really love the posters that they used to have for movies. These 1950s, 1940s movies posters with all this bright yellow and bright red and green, and it looks so good. I'd like to make a poster like that for mine, because it's such a cool style. I tried to with the one that I had done, but I don't think it turned out in more like a 1930s movie poster. Number 7 is Psycho Goreman. This is one that I'm really glad that I watched, because I had no idea what this movie was about based on the title and based on the images that I saw. And it's a really funny, fun movie about this demon, alien, monster overlord. He is summoned to these kids, and they befriend him. And the star of this movie is really, there's a little girl, and she is nothing like a little girl from any other movie. She swears, she's mean, she's conniving, she's smart, and she's really, really cool. And she really is the star of the movie, and her and the monster, there's a really fun story here, and I love this movie. It had all these practical effects. It didn't take itself too seriously, and it came out in the middle of the pandemic, and it really was the perfect movie, because it's pure escapism. Like, it's not a great movie. It's a really good movie that, you can be glad to watch it and escape from reality. Number 6, funnily enough, is Route 666. This is a really fun movie. I would definitely watch it again. It's another one that probably, I don't think it needs a remake, but I think it needs like a sequel or something where it's like a soft remake, because this was basically like an arcade game come to life. And it's all about, there was this group of chainmail prisoners, and they're doing this construction work on the road, and then they all got killed in a horrible way, and they turn into zombies, like zombie spirits or something, and they come up whenever people go on this closed down Route 666, and it's a really good movie. I would highly recommend it. A lot of action, really, really good violence, and it's underrated. Number 5 is Stage Door. This one was really funny because the guy who recommended it, he popped up on my Bad Sister movie review. He left the one comment about Stage Door, and then he has never commented again. And I thought that was hilarious because he just came on, recommended this masterpiece movie, and then left. And he said it was his favorite movie, and I don't blame him. This is a very good, funny, classic film. It's all about this house of actresses living together, and it's a lot about, like, just people getting opportunities who don't deserve them, and then other people who really did deserve them, they don't get the opportunities. And it turns out to be a really tragic film because one of the actresses, the best one, and the most attractive one, honestly, she commits suicide, and the one who gets the role that she wanted, she gets possessed by her ghost, and she gives the greatest performance ever. And it's a really good movie, and it is pretty underrated. There are some queer elements to it, though. Like, a lot of the movie is just these girls, like, bullshitting around in this house, and I just felt like, I wish that we had seen some more acting, some more, like, scenes where they're auditioning or doing plays and movies and stuff, because but still, I really, really liked it. I would definitely watch it again, just for the fact that it has all these classic actresses in one movie. It is sort of like The House of Long Shadows, but for when was the movie come out? 30s? Wow. 1930s, 1940s actresses. Now, number 4 is Eye of the Devil. Now, this one was very creepy. It was very atmospheric. And it all takes place at this castle in the middle of the sky. It has like a fantasy fairy tale element. And it's really creepy. It's really good. The story is that there's this cult, and they have grapes, they have a vineyard, and basically the family that owns the vineyard, the male in the family, when the grapes don't grow, the male in the family, he has to sacrifice himself and be shot with a bow and arrow. And it's really creepy. It's a very good horror movie. It's a lot to do with real life, because obviously it wasn't a movie, it was a spell, and it was a very effective spell. I mean, I would say that it is pretty underrated. It's not the greatest thing, but it was really high quality because of the acting from all the people in it. Number 3 is Barabbas. This movie was an epic movie. I mean, it spans so much time with this one character, and it's so badass because this character, he changes the whole movie. He changes appearance, he changes personality, and the whole movie, just everyone around him dies. And you're thinking, like, wow, this Barabbas character, he is so badass, he is never gonna die. Because just everyone else just takes it for him. And everyone else is the one who suffers. And he is the one who's just going to be the only one left standing at the end. And he is so cool in this movie because at the very end, he goes head to head with this gladiator. And the gladiator, he enjoys being a gladiator so much that he willingly signs up over and over again. And Barabbas kicks his ass. And it is one of the greatest movie fights I've ever seen. But there are some troubling things in the movie. There are some really, bad messages to it, because it's all about how you should sacrifice yourself for your religion. And it's like, no thanks. That's not a good thing. It's basically the pagan version of the story of Barabbas. Sacrifice can be really, really good, but not human sacrifice, and that's what I, the Devil, Barabbas, and then the other one are all about. And so, I'll just say that right there. I'm not totally anti-sacrifice. I'm just anti-human sacrifice, which, the movie Barabbas is yeah, you should sacrifice yourself, because the whole movie, too, all the people who are being sacrificed, they're all really happy about it, even though they die these horribly painful, awful deaths. They want to die for their religion, and it's ugh, gross. Number 2 is The Stand. This was another very early on fan request, and it resulted in one of our best weeks where we did a Stephen King week. And this movie was a very fun, entertaining, solid Stephen King movie. And I say that because Stephen King writing is pretty bad. Stephen King written stories, and this movie has a lot of problems. For instance, they have Molly Ringworm, and she is a typical how she always is, and she's awful and she's insufferable, and she gets with Gary Sinise, and she friend zones this guy who's really likes her, and he turns into a crazy terrorist person. And I thought that was terrible, because he ended up being influenced by the villain. And the villain in this movie, he is the best part of the movie. The villain, he is this crazy, over-the-top, cheesy guy, and he is just so good. And then also there are these characters. One of them, he's mentally challenged, and he's a really good character. The other one is this deaf guy, and they make a really good pairing with each other. They are the surprise of the movie, because you expect maybe Gary Sinise is going to be the star since he's the main guy. But no, it turns out to be this pair of this odd couple, and these guys who, they're really not the types of characters who you see star in a mainstream story. And so it was really cool to see them as the main characters. And there was also a really cringe-worthy part in this movie where the bad guy, he is almost undefeatable. And the way that they defeat him is just so laughably stupid that it just makes you want to throw up. And what happens is the main characters, they all get together, they join hands, and the hand of God comes out of the sky and kills the bad guy. And I just thought, oh, God. Oh, Stephen King. Oh, Stephen King. And that's not even the worst part. The worst part after that is they all get sick or something, and there's some weird shit with that. Oh, God. But it was very entertaining. I would definitely watch it again. There's so many things to enjoy that you can just kind of ignore the stupid shit and enjoy the good stuff. Number one is the movie that I reviewed recently as well. The best fan request, and I say fan request in like air quotes because you can't really, well, maybe you can, I don't know, well, but we'll see. Number one is the Americanization of Emily. And this is all about this guy who serves other soldiers and he other higher ranking military people, actually not soldiers, just people who sit around and eat all day. And he feeds them, he gives them hookers, and he gives them entertainment. And it's all about how they want to, the Navy, they want to have the first person on D-Day to die. They want him to be a sailor. And so they want there to be a movie of D-Day, of the people in the Navy going on the beach to disarm the mines in the minefield. And obviously one of those people would probably die. And whoever dies first, they want that person on video so that they can show the video to this budgeting committee, and then the budgeting committee will give them more money. And it is probably one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. There are a lot of creepy things about it, obviously, as I said in the review, when you do like an occult analysis, you know, but that even if it's like a really evil movie or a really evil story, that doesn't stop it from being really, really good. And this movie it's so good. Like, I could watch it again right now. And it is just, it's definitely one of the best movies I've ever seen. And there are so many twists and turns. There are so many things you don't expect that are going to happen. The dialogue is exceptional. The characters are characters who you want to spend 2 hours with. And the ending of the movie, the whole last 30 minutes, really, really good. The only thing that I'll say is at the very, very end, it is a little queer because of what happens. It seems a little bit like propaganda because the main character, after all this evil that he has witnessed, he is convinced by the female character that he should lie and pretend like none of that stuff happened. And to me, I can't tell if it's propaganda or if it's actually smart writing, because this female character, she's doing something evil on accident almost, because she's saying, like, you know, war is good. It's just the virtues of war that are bad. And it's like, yeah, F you. Like, war is bad, period. But anyways, those are the fan requests. When there's 40, maybe I'll redo this video if you guys want, or maybe 60 fan requests. But for now, that'll be it. So please like this video, comment, tell me what you thought of ranking fan requests. I thought it was a ton of fun to do this last night. And I know I've said the word fun a lot, which, you know, fan, fun, I don't know. And then that didn't make any sense. And then please subscribe to this video if you'd like to see more fan request videos. Goodbye, everybody. See you soon.